Vanessa, let's welcome you to the program. And well, you're in Damascus. A couple of days ago, there was some activity from the Israeli direction.
Yes, I would also, first of all, say that under international law, Israel is an occupied force, therefore doesn't have the right to self-defense. But yes, 2 days ago, or was it yesterday? I lose track because the attacks are always in the early hours of the morning. Israel launched actually one of its largest expanded strikes against Syria for some time, since actually probably before 2011. So let's have a look quickly at a couple of sort of amateur videos that were taken of the attacks and the interception by Syrian air defense over basically the coastal area. So this will be close to Tartus on the western coast of Syria. There have been rumors that the Syrian air defenses did actually shoot down an Israeli warplane. Now, obviously, if they did, that will have landed in the sea. And so, therefore, until now, we haven't got substantiation of those rumors. And of course, Israel is not going to be the first one to admit it. So the first wave of attacks basically came from Lebanon, the northwest of Lebanon, and then from, as I said, the western coastal region from the Mediterranean Sea. It's worth also noting that Russian jets were buzzing the Israeli jets. They were patrolling the coastal area to prevent the Israeli jets entering Syrian airspace, but they couldn't engage with the jets because of the activity of the Syrian air defense would have put them in peril, of course. So the area that was extensively targeted is the village and the countryside of Masyaf, inside that red circle to the west of Hama and Homs in sort of central Syria. The first wave of attacks used the Delilah cruise missiles. I'm not sure of the number that was used, but it was an extensive attack. The majority of the missiles were downed by the Syrian air defenses, and it's believed that for the first time in some time, the Syrian air defense used the S-200, which was seen to arrive as far as Haifa in the occupied territories. That was then followed by a wave. So while they had tried to create almost a belt of fire for the Syrian air defense, and then sent in the Harop suicide drones to target certain areas inside Syria. So this was a very, very extensive attack. However, a number of the drones were brought down in various areas on the coast and surrounding the Masyaf Homs area. Now, interestingly, there was a French Air Force plane seen coming in from the Jordan airspace, but carrying out surveillance shortly before the attack. And that, I think, is the first time that the French planes have been involved. It's also interesting that about a year ago, there was talk of setting up a NATO base and headquarters in Jordan. In addition to the Syrian army's research centers and a position in the north of the city of Masyaf, the Israelis also targeted a military base in the southwest of the city, which, according to the Israeli regime, was the site of the production of rockets utilized by the Lebanese resistance movement. The military base, which is identified as an underground facility, and the Institute 4000 Research Center was also targeted in the airstrike by the occupying regime's army on the 12th, March the 12th, 2023. Since 2018, the mentioned center has been attacked by the Israeli regime's army at least on 4 occasions. And if we go back 1 year, I think we reported on this report in Hebrew by the INSS, Tel Aviv University-related think tank, that actually went into some detail about the perceived threat from Syria's weapon development. Now, in the strikes, there were 14 people killed, many injured, 6 critically, all of whom were taken to the Masyaf National Hospital. And in fact, the director of the National Hospital was himself injured, and a Syrian news agency reporter. Also, they appeared to have deliberately caused extensive damage to water lines, to equipment and civil defense teams that were heading to put out the fires, vehicles. As you can see, the main road between Mesyaf and various other villages was shut down and is now obviously under reconstruction. Electricity, internet lines were heavily damaged. And of course, this is relatively normal. We've seen the water crimes in Gaza and in Lebanon, of course, the attacks and the burning of Lebanese forestry and the destruction of civilian infrastructure. So very similar pattern here.
Vanessa, thank you very much for that. We will keep an eye on how that develops and how this escalates, as undoubtedly it will. Okay, if you like what the UK column does, you would like to support us, the place to go is support.ukcolumn.org. We do need your financial support. It's what keeps us going, and we'd like to thank everybody that is supporting us in this way. But we also need you to share material on the various platforms. So the place to go to get that is ukcolumn.org or ukcolumnextracts.co.uk. We are censored on the various platforms. And so if you can help be the algorithm, this is extremely useful. Plenty for you to have a look at on the UK Column shop if you'd like to support us that way as well. And Agenda 21, Your Life in Their Hands, is still available for purchase if you would like to get a copy. Now, this is September the 11th, and so I just want to remind everybody of the symposium that we hosted for the International Centre for 9/11 Justice at the weekend. The archive of that is on the UK Column website at the moment. We will be splitting these up into separate presentations, but the archive of the full live stream is there for you to have a look at if you would like, with timings in the show notes so that you can step forward to the place you'd like to watch. Tomorrow at 1 p.m. We're premiering the interview that I've done with Diane Serre and Jose Vega from the United States. They are standing for Senate and Congress, respectively, in New York. And well, they had plenty to say about that. It's probably the only interesting thing that's going on in the US election at the moment. But join us at 1 p.m. for that tomorrow, if you can. A reminder of the Bristol event, UK Column location, on the 19th of October. There's still tickets available for this. Piers Robinson, David Miller, Peter Ford will be among the people relaunching Media on Trial. Bob Moran will be speaking. Ahmed Malik, Katie Jo Murphy will be talking about Hope Sussex. Claire Wills Harrison will be talking about how we deal with tax and whether we would like to perhaps hold a tax strike. And Brian and I speaking at the Heritage Party conference on Saturday the 20th of September. That's in Reading. Details at heritageparty.org. And this coming Saturday, there's a rally for peace taking place on Glasgow Green at the Commonwealth Monument at 1 p.m. And a number of speakers there. Please get along to that if you are in the Glasgow area, if you possibly can.